It it up, my selector.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
I know you gonna dig this.
The Maestro.
Fist hits the bag, 1, 2, and comes back. Single fist here. You hear that beat?
Think outside the box, and VOXing on top of them, clocking them, send them back to the corner for oxygen. Golden gloves, I know myself, I know the game, it's not a game, I know the ring, I want the belt. Finding the rhythm to hit them, split them and touch them and tip them, hit that six-pack with that quick jab. Uppercut the bro, making them fall down, breaking them all down, switch stands, tippy toe, in the hands, give some more. And I'm Muhammad Ali, anomaly, a Mayweather, Pacquiao, prodigy in the midst of fist, this, just S2, hot to rock, think out the box, you know I got the rock to speed back.
That would be a little round.
All right, I am back. This is Maestro, and I'm back. And first of all, let me know if the sound is working, guys. In the chat, let me know if the sound is working, because I'm not hearing everything that I want to hear through my headphones. So that's the first thing. So let me know about that. Chicano Prophet, salute. Jesus M, saludos. Okay, and second thing I got to do, thank you, Chicano. Second thing I got to do is I got to apologize to mi gente, okay? I got to apologize to my people because I've been gone for a minute, all right? But I'll be back more regularly moving forward, and I'll just tell you guys what's been going on. So I've been building a boxing program at my school in the South Bronx. It's been taking a lot of my personal time, but I've got things together now. As I'm sure a lot of you can imagine, it's not all the way easy and straightforward to get a boxing program approved in a public school, especially in this day and age, in the everybody gets a trophy day and age that we all live in. And look, boxing is a serious sport. Boxing is a combat sport. Boxing, is not for the weak, it's for the strong. So luckily, I've got backing of my school principal, who's been very supportive, of my co-teacher, who's an amateur boxer, and we're gonna get it in. All right, so we're gonna get it in. So listen, that's been taking up a bunch of my time recently. A couple other things too, but mostly that. I was in Texas recently for the USA Boxing Amateur National Championships. I was out there for that in Lubbock, Texas, home of Texas Tech. Ding the bell for Texas Tech. All right. Texas Tech University. Ding the bell for Lubbock, Texas. I was out there. I was upping my coaching certification, making contacts, and meeting amateur fighters from around the United States of America. And obviously, in addition to that, guys, it's the World Cup. World Cup only happens once every 4 years. There have been some big games happening, and there's been that too. So I'm happy to be back with everybody. We're going to get back into the rotation, all right? I was talking to Kenny T last night. He's super excited about some big things he's going to be doing on his channel, all right? And he's super excited about getting back to more mano a mano with yours truly, Maestro. Okay. And by the way, speaking of the monikers, all right, because all of you know my name is Amílcar. I'm very proud of my name. I love my name. Maestro's an honorific. I'm a teacher. All right. But based on some of the things I've been having to do on some of these other channels, specifically my guys at the Undefeated podcast, my guy Trav, my guy KG, I've been having to snatch names recently. Okay, so one of the new names I'm going to be going by, guys, is the Knowledge. All right, it's Maestro the Knowledge. All right, that's one. Okay, another one, Maestro the Final Boss, because I am that final boss. Call me King Cooper, please. All right, and another one, I'm just rifling off these because it is Punchlines. Okay, another one. All right, in addition to the knowledge, in addition to the final boss, is King Smoke. Okay. All right, because I've been having to lay down the law on some of these dudes. I know Team Batman Boxing knows what I'm talking about. Salute Team Batman Boxing. All right, salute James Hunt. I know he knows what I'm talking about. All right, and of course my guys, Chauncey Pearls. All right, and Chicano, who I've already mentioned. All right, here we go. As who's the guy that says, here we go? It's Bruce Buffer, right? So let's get into it, because there's a few things I want to talk about. All right, there's a few things I want to talk about. The first one, I'm just going to go with the lead. All right, I'm not going to bury the lead. I'm going to go with the lead. And the question is, was it worth it? All right, before Terrence Crawford, he was with Top Rank. He was on ESPN. All right. He was getting big paydays fighting on Top Rank ESPN. ESPN obviously having the backing of the Walt Disney Corporation. All right. And now he's fighting David Avanesian this weekend in Omaha, Nebraska, in his hometown, in a hometown fight. Reportedly, he's going to be earning about $10 million. All right. I personally know the guy who kind of was instrumental in negotiating this deal. He goes by Blue Blood Sports. He's out of Long Island, New York. I've met Blue Blood multiple times here in New York City at the fights, covering the fights. And, Crawford's been getting a lot of criticism for this, all right, for the Avanesian fight. Look, it is what it is, all right? Would we all have loved to see the Errol Spence Jr. fight? Of course. Of course we would. But was it worth leaving Top Rank? He was obviously disgruntled. There was obviously the lawsuit that was filed. Accusations were made. Promotional misconduct. The headlines were all about racism, but it was mostly about promotional misconduct. And I'll be honest, I like Top Rank as a promotional outfit. In fact, I was talking to Kenny T about this last night. I'm thinking about, the young fighters I got going up now through the pipeline, now that I'm in charge of a boxing program myself. And I was just asking Kenny, you have a family member, you got some young kids you're bringing along. They make it up to a level where they're very good. Who would you want your charges to sign with out of all of the major promoters? All right. I would say definitely not Mayweather Promotions. I don't even think I need to explain that one. All right. So definitely not that. Matchroom's doing some big things, but Top Rank is definitely top of the list. Right? You're a young fighter. You want to be brought along. You want to be matched well. You want to be on ESPN. You got to go with Top Rank. Crawford was with Top Rank. Crawford re-upped with Top Rank. Crawford got fights very well paid under Top Rank. Benavidez, Horn. I'm not going in order. I think it was Horn, Benavidez, Mean Machine, or was it, I don't have the box rec in front of me, but we all know that he got the Khan fight. We all know that he got the Brook fight. We all know that he got the Sean Porter fight. He got very well paid, and then he left because he wanted the Errol Spence Jr. fight. He wanted the Errol Spence Jr. fight. He's not getting it, even though he left Top Rank. But he's getting very well paid, $10 million. That's nothing to sneeze at, obviously. So, was it worth it? At this point, I have to say yes. He's taking charge of his career. He's independent. He's getting, I believe, a career high payday to take it on David Avanesian. By the way, David Avanesian isn't a bad fighter by any means. And I tweeted this earlier. Salute to the WBO for not discriminating against David Avanesian for the fact that he's Russian. Ethnically, he's Armenian. I think Russia has, if not the largest, the second largest population of Armenians outside of Armenia. Armenians obviously being a fighting people, Russians obviously being a fighting people, they're not penalizing him for the fact that he happens to be born and happens to live in a country that is engaged in a military conflict that he as a civilian has nothing to do with. So saludos to them. The WBO, and I don't usually credit these sanctioning bodies with much, but I'm going to credit them for that. All right. So look, it could have been worse. It could have been better. Would people have liked to see Boots in it? Of course. Would people have liked to see Virgil Ortiz? Of course. But for a guy coming off what is now, I believe, he said it, so I have no reason to distrust what he said. He said that this is his career longest layoff. I mean, yes. Would we like to see Errol Spence Jr.? Of course. But look, as a stay busy fight, it's not bad. He's getting a career high payday for a stay busy fight. Would he have got the fight had he signed with Top Rank and stayed with Top Rank? I don't know. Salute to Remy. Long time no see, brother man. But you know what? Maestro is back. All right, I've been gone. I explained that at the beginning of the live. I've been gone, but I'm back. Kenny T has been gone for a while on his channel. He will be back. All right, Skyliner, salute. Antoine, salute. All right, and look, it looks maybe like they're going to fizzle, at least as welterweights. Right, at least as welterweights, but we'll see, because rumor is, Errol Spence is going to be taking on Stanionis. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, the number one contender in the WBO is Virgil Ortiz. We'll see what happens. The number one contender to WBC under Errol Spence is Keith Thurman. We'll see what happens. But look, you could make the argument that Crawford maybe should have stayed with Top Rank, but realistically, they don't have any top welterweights for him anyways. Worked out in his favor. He's independent. He's got a career high payday for a stay busy fight. A guy of it, look, I'm not discrediting Avanesyan by saying he's a stay busy fight. For anybody else, it wouldn't be a stay busy fight. But we're talking about a guy who many consider to be the pound for pound best fighter in the world, meaning the most skilled, one of the most accomplished. Reading off from Chauncey here, Chauncey says, Crawford continues to get passes for his choice of opponents, and he's like the darling of boxing fans, with his resume as far as quality opponents doesn't add up. That's definitely true since he's moved up to welterweight. I listed off the opponents off the top of my head. Jeff Horn, Benavidez Jr., Mean Machine, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, and Sean Porter, who had half of his 1 foot in, 1 foot out, is what I was trying to say. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So, look, but, financially, this has definitely worked out for him. Absolutely, financially, it's worked out for him. There's no doubt about that. And Chauncey Pearls, I agree with you 100%. I'd also love to see Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz. All right? So listen, we'll see how it goes. I think everybody's expecting Bud Crawford to do the business to win against David Avanesyan. I think that's what most people are predicting. I think that's the logical, sensible, I should say, outcome. All right, but we'll see what it is. Let's see what happens next year in 2023, and hopefully we see Crawford in a big fight. Hopefully we see Crawford in a big fight at 147, and hopefully if that fight happens, all right, we'll finally get an answer to the Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Bud Crawford equation. Who's the better fighter? X equals. Hopefully, we'll get the answer to that. So, Guys, I'm going to be at this fight, okay, this weekend. It is Spanish versus Spanish. Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin live at MSG. Okay, yo voy a estar allá en vivo, as my guys from the En Vivo podcast say, en vivo. All right, I will be there. I can't really say I'm excited about Spanish versus Spanish, but the undercard's looking pretty good. You know, I'm going to get to see Xander Zayas. I'm going to get to see Jared Big Baby Anderson. And you know what? Spanish versus Spanish is actually probably an upgrade to the Sniper Pedraza fight. Sniper Pedraza versus Teofimo, I'll be honest, I wasn't that interested in that. I wasn't as interested in that. I thought that was a gimme fight for Teofimo. At least in this case, what are we getting? I mean, we're getting a guy that handed Mikey Garcia a definitive loss. You know, we're getting a guy who's a somebody at 140 pounds. We're getting that. All right. And I think that Sandor Martin is going to be able to test Teofimo Lopez much more than Sniper Pedraza would have. Sniper Pedraza, by the way, who saw his best days at 130 pounds before getting knocked out brutally by Gervonta Tank Davis in a fight I was there live for. All right. And I think this is an upgrade fight. All right. Chicano Prophet's calling it the Conquistador Bowl. That's a good one. And look, for those of you who don't know the background of my whole Spanish air quotes or real quotes versus Spanish comment, I mean, Chicano knows all about it. All right. Teofimo Lopez sought to represent the United States as an amateur, didn't make the Olympic team. I mean, at the time, I believed his dad's version of the events. I had no reason not to. I didn't know any better. But since I now have all of the new data, they still think that they were robbed against Gambosis. So why would I believe that they were robbed by the USA Boxing? Especially being a USA Boxing coach, which I am. I don't know about that. Anyways, didn't make the U.S. team, represented Honduras, and then all of a sudden turns pro and is Spanish all of a sudden. So hence Spanish versus Spanish. We've got Teofimo Lopez from Brooklyn, New York, via Florida against the guy straight out of Spain in Sandor Martin. I think it's going to be a good fight. And I don't know if you guys saw a stare down between the two, but it was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. So it got me interested. You know, let me see if I could find a face-off for this right now. Face-off, Teofimo. We're doing some live editing here. This is a live show. And there was a face-off between the two. And I got it here. I mean, call me crazy, but it looked to me, as I put this over my head on top of me on my TV screen, it looked to me that Sandor Martin, I mean, he looked ready to go. You guys let me know in the chat, you know, is there a possibility of an upset here? Not that many people believe that Sandor Martin stood any shot at all against Mikey Garcia. All right. But turns out he beat Mikey Garcia. Let's have a look. And you guys tell me what you think.
Yeah, can I get one straight on?
I mean, Sandor Martin does not look intimidated. Sandor Martin looks like he's healthy, looks like he's ready to go. This is a full-fledged guy. at 140 pounds. And what really got interested was when the talking started.
It's okay. It's coming. Don't worry about it.
¿Estás nervioso?
No.
You're nervous. You're nervous. Mentalidad de campeón.
Okay.
3 semanas. Así es como te gustan a ti los boxeadores. 3 semanas. Pero he venido aquí. Esto es para los locos, a los que creen de verdad. Y yo creo, te voy a ganar. ¿Estás nervioso? ¿No?
He's saying that Teofimo's nervous. He's saying that he's got the mentality of a champion. I mean, he look again. He doesn't look intimidated.
Vamos a ver el sábado.
It's good. Okay. That's
There
fine.
we go. I mean, I couldn't go to the weigh-in today because I had work, guys. Not the weigh-in, sorry, the press conference. But from what I saw, it was a lot of the same. It was a lot of the same. And, Jesus, yes, big possibility of an upset. So Teofimo claims USA, Spain, and Honduras. Like I said, he didn't make the Olympic team. His father says that they were robbed. But then again, the father said that Teofimo was robbed by George Gambosis Jr. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. Then fought for Honduras. And, then started flying the Spanish flag at his fight. So, it is what it is. You take that for what you will. But he's up there against a real Spanish dude this time, a guy by the name of Sandor Martin. Okay. And look, is it the greatest main event? No, it's not. But Jared Big Baby Anderson's going to be on the undercard. Those of you who know me know that I'm a big fan of his. All right. And Xander Zayas is on the undercard. And those who know me also know that I'm a fan of Xander Zayas. So I would be going to this fight if it was just Xander Zayas. I would be going to this fight if it was just Jared Big Baby Miller. But, throw in Sandor Martin and as a possible upset, sign me up for that. I'm there. All right. Remy says, so says who says, so excuses already 3 weeks late replacement. I don't really think he was making excuses. I was thinking he's saying, listen, I'm not intimidated. I'm here to win. I got the mentality of a champion. I'm not here coming to lay down, right? So I think that's what I heard. I don't know if it was excuses, but if that's what you think, I mean, look, you have your interpretation of it. I have mine. It's cool. Shanti says, Sandor can stink up the fight and give Teo issues. I agree. Remy says, Teofimo wins without a doubt. Bruce Cobra Kai is in the building. Now, that's my man, Cobra Kai. All right? I might have to call you the knowledge as well. I'm calling myself the knowledge. But you're also the knowledge based upon what went down that fateful day on Monday Night Smoke. All right, Chauncey, 140 is such a good division. I hope Teo wins. A lot of fun fights for him at 140. Yeah, I mean, 140 is a stacked division, guys. I mean, what's not to like? Josh Taylor, to me, is still undisputed champion until he gets beat. But you also got a lot of other tough guys out there. Regis Prograis obviously got that big win against Jose Zepeda, right? You also have Alberto Puello. You also have Jeremiah Ponce, Subriel Matias. Jose Ramirez is still out there as well. Liam Pardo, the Australian who got that big win a few weeks ago. More than, maybe we should call it a couple months ago. But it was a big win out there in Australia against Brooke Jarvis. So, yeah, I mean, look, 140 stacked. And you also have the likelihood of Devin Haney moving up sometime soon. Jack Catterall's still out there, although I think Josh Taylor's likely going to beat him. But he's still out there. He's still a name. So, yeah, a lot of things going on. All right. There was a time when a lot of people were really high on Gary Antoine Russell, but I actually thought he got away with a gift in his last fight at the Barclays. I was there for that. I felt that fight was stopped way too early. So, yeah, Lil Penny's also mentioning that Ryan Garcia is also at 140. He absolutely is. The GOAT Mario P, salute to you, brother. Salute. All right, long time no see, but like I said, I will be back more consistently. For those of you that missed the beginning of the show, I've actually set up a boxing program at my school. We got a boxing team going on now. I got some young fighters I'm working with. All right. And it's taken up a lot of my time, just getting the program approved, getting the program off the ground, getting all of the equipment. All right. Getting our space together. And then obviously also going out to USA Boxing Nationals last weekend, going out to Texas. So it's been a couple of weeks without Mano a Mano, but we'll be back. Our Kenny T will be back with me for more Mano a Mano. You guys already know that. We're not going anywhere. There's also been the World Cup. Some big time performances. Obviously, we had that big Portugal game with the hat trick. All right. We've had that. All right. And we had Morocco beating Spain. Woo, I don't know. Is that fortuitous to what's going to happen to Sandro Martin? Morocco beating Spain? I don't know. But we'll see. So look, we've got some big games coming up this weekend too, including France versus England. Ding the bell for that. All right, and what I've heard is that the Warrington fight, they're actually going to be showing the football, the England versus France match at the arena, which I think is great thinking. Great thinking. Because you don't want those guys going to the Warrington fight to miss out on the big match with France. So they're going to show it on the big screen there at the arena in Leeds, which to me makes perfect sense. Boxing pound for pound, Jack, you already know. Maestro, the knowledge, all right, a.k.a. the final boss, a.k.a. King Smoke, all right, from Monday Night Smoke. I hope to get back to that show at some point soon. I always have a lot of fun chopping it up with Trav and KG. I also had the pleasure of seeing Trav do his thing live in Brooklyn, New York. He came out here to New York City to do his stand-up. And guys, he's really funny. So if you ever have the chance to check out Trav, make sure you do that. All right. Especially if you're out there in the UK. I know he does more consistent performances out there, obviously, because he lives out there. So moving on, there's a couple things I wanted to rap about. All right, because you already know that this is Punchline. So I've got a few things I got to talk about, but I'm just going off the top, no notes. All right, it is Punchline.
Gorilla than the planet of the apes. I write a punchline and plant it on your face. Eat a punch that you ain't even got to taste. Here's a shot that you ain't even got to chase.
And here we go. So, look, Tyson Fury, the man, the Gypsy King, the number one heavyweight in the world, the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. He took on Jared Chisora last Saturday in England, and it was a lot of things being said. Oh, well, there wasn't a real 60,000 over there. There was a lot of empty seats, guys. I mean, why is it that there's this obsession when it comes to Tyson Fury about counting seats? Counting pay-per-view buys. Was the revenue profitable? Well, how much was it profitable, Maestro? I mean, first of all, I don't understand why there's this obsession with that. But what's interesting to me is that when it comes to AJ, people aren't asking these questions. Have you ever heard anybody ask if the Ruiz AJ 2 fight was quote unquote profitable, or how many people showed up to it in Saudi? Were people counting seats for the first AJ versus Usyk fight? Well, I think I see some few seats there that are empty there at the Tottenham Hotspurs Arena. Nobody says that. So, I mean, I just don't get it. Oh, well, I see some empty seats. So what if there were empty seats? Was anybody counting seats when Usyk took on Joshua for the second time in Saudi? Was anybody asking if Usyk versus Joshua 2 was profitable? Or how many pay-per-views it sold? No one said anything. But all of a sudden, the Gypsy King turns up to Tottenham Hotspur's arena at the end of the fall, pretty much winter, outdoor fight, totally unprecedented. And if it's not enough to say, oh, well, Derek Chisora is not a good opponent, blah, 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 blah. Now people are counting seats and asking if it was profitable. Just stop it. Just stop it. I just don't understand. All right? Or at least if you're going to do that, at least just keep it consistent. So thoughts on the fight, though? It was a total dominating performance by Tyson Fury. Chisora didn't win a round. And Don Charles immediately should be fired. And if I was someone considering hiring a trainer or considering sending my son or brother or somebody I care about to be under the tutelage of somebody, Don Charles would be one of the last people that I would ever consider. Matter of fact, I would never consider, because he sent Chisora in round after round after round to take an unnecessary, sustained beating at the hands of Tyson Fury. It was totally unnecessary. All right. If I was in Chisora's team, look, everybody knew what this was. Everybody knew what this was. This was a stay busy, shake off the rust fight for Tyson Fury. That's what it was. A stay busy, as I adjust my camera there, stay busy, knock off the rust fight for Tyson Fury. And if I was Don Charles, I would have been like, listen, here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to go in there. He's a little rusty. All right. We're going to do everything we can to apply pressure and really lay it on him. We're going to go to the body first. We're going to attack the head. All right. And we're just going to apply unrelenting pressure for as long as we can. As soon as that strategy stops working and he starts eating too many punches, fight's over, I'm throwing in the towel. That's it. Your guys gotten paid. Your guys got in a stadium fight. Your guys got double-digit losses. Nobody's expecting your guy to win. So give it the best you can give it for as long as you can give it. And as soon as it becomes immediately apparent that your guy has no route to victory, you immediately stop the fight and throw in the towel. That's it. That is it. All right. Oh, salute to Modern King Boxing, bro. That is my guy. I just noticed you, brother. All right. Matter of fact, Modern King, you know what? Modern King's a great channel. Everybody go check out Modern King. Modern King, send me a message because I'm going to be sending you some stuff from here in New York City. Modern King's a big supporter. He's a comrade. He's doing his thing out there. So, you know, I'm always going to support Modern King because Modern King always supports me. So thank you so much, Modern King. Everybody go out there and check out Modern King Boxing. That's my guy out there in the UK. Best channel out there in the UK. Doesn't have a podcast, I don't think, but best channel for getting those videos and those interviews. He does a great job. He asks the great questions, right? He gets people kind of out of the typical box that they're usually in when they're giving answers and gets really hard-hitting interviews in there, but in a very respectful way. So salute to Modern King Boxing. Everybody go check out Modern King. All right. By the way, you guys out there in the UK, who's showing this fight? Or is Black Prime available in the UK? I don't even know if it's available in the US because I'm not ordering the fight because I'm going to be at the Garden. So I haven't even looked into how to order it because I'm not going to go. I'm not going to watch it. I was considering going out there, but I decided that it would be more, let's just be honest. I mean, it's more cost effective. I live in New York City. I was already in Texas last week. I don't want to do back-to-back weekends on the road. because I do work hard Monday to Friday. And look, the undercard of the David Avenesian Terrence Crawford fight isn't going to be very good. And the main event is pretty much a determined conclusion. So just makes sense to go to the Garden. The major interest to me would have been like the production value and that kind of stuff. So would have been watching it on television or just seeing how Black Pine puts on the show. From what I understand, the Pro Box TV guys are going to be doing the commentary. That's what I heard. In fact, it was they were critical of. There were people on the internet that were critical of the fact that Paulie Malignaggi's going to be on the call. Look, Paulie, people may not like this take, but I actually like Paulie a lot. I think his commentary is usually good. I know he gets impassioned, but I think when it comes to the X and O's of the sport, to the tactical, technical stuff, he usually is spot on. And I don't have to, here's the thing, I don't have to agree with someone's political views to have a conversation with them. And I don't, cancel people over these kind of things like what he said, and necessarily don't think that they have a valid perspective on something totally different, which is boxing. So, I think Paulie's problem a lot of the times is that what he's saying isn't necessarily articulated appropriately. And honestly, he comes from a specific background and it's a specific point of view. And, it is what it is. But I actually like Paulie's commentary. I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably not going to be very popular as an opinion, especially coming from a black man. But I've always liked Paulie's commentary, and I've always liked Antonio Tarver's commentary. And it's kind of ironic because Paulie is the guy that replaced Antonio Tarver after Antonio Tarver got fired from Showtime, because if you guys remember, he was a commentator that was still an active fighter in his mid 40s, and he tested positive for a PED. And because of that, they fired him. But, so it's kind of interesting that then they fired the guy that they replaced, So it is what it is. Chicano says, agreed. I like Paulie way better than Warden Bradley, in my opinion. And Paulie doesn't make things about him. Yeah, he doesn't. When it comes to his commentary, I actually like him. Do I agree with his takes on Devin Haney? Absolutely not. In fact, I thought that statement he made, especially when it was taken in the context that I took it in, which is that, you fought the wrong white boy, that, the white boy that would have beat you would have been Lomachenko, not Kambosos. But what I didn't understand when I first heard it is, according to Paulie anyways, he didn't bring the race into the equation when it came to that. But look, I don't want to spend too much time on that. The fact is, I'm not against him calling the card. I actually think that it's a good thing that he's calling cards again. And, maybe that's another reason to watch the fight. So, it is what it is. It's funny that I led off with the before and after as it relates to Crawford before in his first fight after Top Rank, because let's not forget that Teofimo Lopez himself was with Top Rank, then left Top Rank, and is now back with them. So will we see that with Crawford? I don't really know. We might see it. Anyways, moving on. So we talked about Chisora and Fury. After the fight, I thought that this exchange was interesting. Fury was having kind of a go at Alexander Usyk, and then Joy Joyce came up. And they had a little bit of an exchange. Call me crazy, I like both of these fights. I like the Usyk fight. I like the Joe Joyce fight. I think they're both competitive fights that Fury should win. But I think those are two very compelling fights. In one fight, you have Fury against a guy who's, let's just be honest, inferior as a technical boxer, but as attributes in terms of strength, in terms of resilience, in terms of chin in Joe Joyce, right? And on the other side of the equation, you have a guy in Usyk who arguably is as good or even better a boxer technically than Tyson Fury. So I actually think that those are two pretty good cards. And I'm gonna add, oh shoot. If somebody can unblock DGO0082, that was an accident. If one of my moderators can do that, I was trying to block this spam that came up and I accidentally blocked DGO0082. So hopefully you guys can help me out with that. I don't have YouTube open to do that. That was an accident, DGO0082. So hopefully somebody can unblock. He's on the you're asking what card he's on. He's going to be covering the Terrence Bud Crawford, David Avanesian card. So that's the card that Terrence Bud Crawford's going to be covering. All right. Yeah, my fault, DGO. That was totally an accident. I was trying to get rid of the spam and you were right beside it. So apologies for that. So yeah. So moving on though, on the undercard of the Fury versus Chisora fight, we saw a guy out of South Africa, Lorena, taking on the WBA regular champion at heavyweight, Daniel Dynamite Dubois, knocking him down 3 times in the first round. For whatever reason, you guys do the math. The round was ended early. He didn't really press the action in the second round and then got stopped in the third in a round where the referee literally stopped the fight right at the bell in a round where the round wasn't stopped early. Okay. The fact is, it's starting to look like Daniel Dynamite Dubois is a little bit vulnerable here. And I made this comment on Monday Night Smoke. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but if I'm the AJ team, I'm targeting Daniel Dynamite Dubois. And if I'm the Daniel Dynamite Dubois team, I'm trying to get into the ring with AJ. And I'll tell you why. If you're AJ, you see a guy like that who's holding, albeit a secondary title, but still a sanctioning body title, that puts you back into the picture to take on a WBA champion, you go for it. You go for it. I mean, the other fight they're talking about, obviously, is Dillian White. But with White, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's looked terrible in his past few performances. Against Fury, he didn't win a 5-second stretch of that fight. He lost every single round. And I don't know, did he land one meaningful punch on Fury? Maybe. I mean, as sad as this sounds, Derek Chisora, even in the last fight, had more success against Tyson Fury than Dillian White did. Tyson Fury was actually on TalkSport this morning out there in the UK. I get up super early over here in New York, right? We actually start training in the gym at 6:30 in the morning. So I'm before school. So I'm up at 5 at the latest, getting ready to go out there. And I listen to TalkSport, at pretty much every day. If it's not the World Cup, I'm enjoying their stuff on boxing. Anyways, he lifted up his shirt and he showed that he had like really bad bruising from Derek Chisora. I mean, he didn't have that from Tyson Fury. So, I think it's safe to say that even in the loss that Chisora had, he did better than Dillian White did against Tyson Fury, right? So that's one. But like that fight just isn't appealing to me, guys. AJ against Dillian, number 2, especially coming off of, let me see if I have it here. I think I do. This performance. Really? That's who you want to see AJ face next? This guy? So, look, at least Daniel Dynamite Dubois has the WBA regular title. You know, it puts you in a position to fight for another title again. The fight with Dillian White doesn't. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you're Dynamite Dubois people, look, he looked super vulnerable against Kevin Lorena. Who's to say that the next guy they put him in there, you know, doesn't knock him down like that again and doesn't finish the job? You're going to lose to a guy, it might as well be the AJ. That's what I think. So it's also probably going to be the biggest payday this guy's ever going to receive his entire career, the AJ fight. And the value of the AJ fight goes down if AJ loses again. You know, let's face facts here. AJ is vulnerable himself. So look, you get two vulnerable guys, one a lot younger than the other, one the younger guy who holds a secondary title. You know, face him, because the way I see it, both of these guys are you know, vulnerable to lose. That's how I see it. Gonna answer a question. Ken Griffin says, what do you think about Fury's power that he couldn't drop a wash Chisora and relied on a generous stoppage? I'll tell you what I think. I think he was laying off of him. I think he was playing it safe, and I think he was showing mercy, and I think to a certain extent he carried him. Maybe it wasn't mercy, but I don't think he went in like he was trying to just take his head off. You know, so there's that. And usually when Chisora does get knocked out, it's from like walking into something clean that he doesn't see. And yeah, that just wasn't the kind of fight that Tyson Fury was fighting. He was more on the front foot. He was more being aggressive. He wasn't counter punching him and trying to sucker him into a shot. So there you go. White as a confidence builder, why not? If you're talking about AJ, look, why not fight a Daniel Dynamite Dubois? Jesus M, I'd also love to see AJ versus Joyce, but there's no way AJ's team going to put him in against Joyce. There's no way. Omar says, so if I understand correctly, you're making a case for Dubois being a better opponent for Joshua than White. I think Dubois is a notch down from White. Yeah, I'm making that case, kind of, but what I'm also making the case for Omar is that he has more to offer than Dillian White does at this point. Dillian White barely sold 5,000 tickets to his last fight. So for all of these people that were saying, oh, well, you know, Maestro, that 95,000 that Fury did at Wembley, you know, at least half of that were White fans. Stop it. They were not White fans, okay? The man just did barely 5,000 in his last fight, and that's not out of my mouth. That's out of Eddie Hearn's mouth, and he did not look impressive in this at all. He did not look impressive. And by the way that Dubois recuperated and stopped Lorena was more impressive than anything that Dillian White did in this fight against Jermaine Franklin. Did he press matters in the last few rounds? Yeah, he did. Was it impressive? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It wasn't. So, again, Dubois has a WBA regular title. Does White have a title? Is White coming off a loss? Or, you know, no, but is he coming off an impressive win? Was White not brutally knocked out 2 fights ago? Was Dubois brutally knocked out 2 fights ago? So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, somebody said it earlier. Yeah, it was Jesus M. You want Joe Joyce. That's the greatest fight. But is Matchroom gonna green like that? So, like, I'd love to see that too, but that fight ain't happening. It's not happening. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll go to where were we again? I'm just trying to get back to the comments here. All right, Ken Griffin says, oh, and big up to Ken Griffin, by the way. It's funny because every time I see Ken Griffin, I'm like, yo, Ken Griffey Jr.'s in the chat. No, I'm just playing. All right, John Fury was saying that narrative, but I saw a brutal bludgeoning. I did too. You're talking about the Chisora fight. The broadcast showed he landed a crazy high percentage of power punches. That doesn't suggest to me that he showed mercy. Well, look, a power punch technically is anything that isn't a jab. So you can throw a power punch without putting all of your power into the punch. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. Jeff Lucietta, White grew that goofy mohawk back. Yeah, he did. Virtuoso, there's no way Frank Morin is allowing Joyce to fight on DAZN. Shrugs. I agree. He's not going to be helping out. Johnny Gaffer, big up. That's another guy out of the undefeated community, the great defeaters. Big up to my brothers, Trav and KG. Fury hate will only grow. Look, it will only grow. Jeff, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I made this point, right? Fury fights Dillian White, and it's, he's not going to sell out Wembley. Then they expand seating capacity. Well, you know, a lot of those were papered and people got tickets, and actually I'm seeing empty seats, right? Then it's, well, you know, Dillian was responsible for at least half of those ticket sales. Did it even make money? Did it even sell on pay-per-view? But when it comes to AJ, nobody asks how many people were there to see Andy Ruiz AJ 2 in Saudi. Nobody asks whether that promotion made any money. Nobody asks, were there any empty seats when Usyk fought AJ at Tottenham Hotspur's arena? Nobody asks whether that was profitable. Nobody asks if the fight with Usyk 2 in Saudi, the rematch, Usyk Joshua 2, whether there were, how many people attended that? Nobody asks. Nobody asks whether that was profitable. Nobody asks. Now, I'm not expecting anybody to ask, but what I am expecting is the people that ask all of those questions about Tyson Fury to ask the same questions about AJ, but they won't. They won't do it because they're haters, just like you said. Right? Look, Biggie Smalls had a song about that. They hate on his downfall, bro. This is what it is. Yeah, a lot of people want to see his downfall. A lot of AJ fans turned into White fans, hoping White would beat Fury. Wonder if they turned into Dell fans too. It's a good question. Ding the bell for Jeff. It's a good question. So, look, that's kind of where things are, man. The last. And if you guys want me to talk about anything, just throw it into the chat. All right. I'm gonna see if I enter this. You know, if I go to this fight in DC, I'm still thinking about it. We got it's not high speed if you're in China, if you're in Korea, if you're in Japan, if you're in Germany, if you're in France, if you're in Italy, if you're even in the UK. But over here they call it a high speed train. It's called the Acela. All right, it runs from Boston to DC. It runs that corridor, and I can take that to DC. Thinking about it. I mean, if you guys think it's a fight that I should go to and cover for you guys, let me know in the chat. I'm talking about the fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Hector Garcia, not Ryan. All right. You know, let me know. I might go to that. But the fight I actually was going to talk about that happened recently was this one. The Chocolatito Juan Gallo Estrada rematch. And look, did Chocolatito start slow? Yeah, I think he started a little slow. But I thought that once he did turn it up, he landed the more meaningful shots. And the problem with Chocolatito's right now, his defense is so good, and I'm going to put the microphone down, that when he slips punches, very subtly slips, he catches a lot of stuff on the gloves, and they look like scoring blows, I guess, to the judges. But I mean, when you're watching on TV, and especially when you see the slow-mos, I mean, you see that he's slipping. All right. A lot of that stuff that's coming at him. All right. He's parrying, but mostly it's the slips. All right. Mostly it's the slips. And I think Estrada was getting credit for a lot more than he should have been getting credit for. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. I don't have a problem with the draw. I did have kind of a problem with Estrada winning. And this time it wasn't because of the fervent anti-communist judge, Carlos Sucre, who has it out for Chocolatito because of his political beliefs. But, I mean, it just seems that the guy can't catch a break. I don't know if it's his political views, the fact that he's a leftist. And by leftist, I don't mean all of the identity politics left stuff that is considered left in the United States. I'm talking a man for the people, for the poor, for the working class. That's left to me. So yeah, that's the party that is aligned with in Nicaragua. You know, the National Socialist Front over there. And, you know, let's be honest, I don't think that's very popular here in the United States. And it definitely cost him in the second fight. I don't know whether that was the issue here, but I mean, it doesn't help. You know, it doesn't help, you know. So I'm getting some comments here. Here we go. I'm going to go back to the Fury stuff. A lot of Fury fans project a lot. I'd like you to elaborate, please, Virtuoso. Why can't people accept that AJ is a bigger draw? I don't know. I don't know if he is a bigger draw right now. I really don't. I don't know that. I don't know that. But what I get from a lot of the AJ fanboys is a lot of questioning of whether or not there were empty seats, a lot of questioning about whether or not XYZ Fury fight turned a profit. Did Usyk Joshua 2 turn a profit? I don't know. I mean, Saudi billionaire dictators threw a lot of money at the fight. Does that mean it turned a profit? I don't know. I don't know. Does that mean it turned up? How many people were in those stands? How many people paid tickets to go to those fights? We don't know the answer to those questions. Nobody asks. Nobody cares. I usually wouldn't care. I only bring it up because people always ask those questions about Fury fights. Let's go over to Yunen. My man Yunen is another great defeater. Honestly, Maestro, it's not hate. It's just that AJ sold out Wembley and sold a lot of pay-per-views with Parker. So people don't ask because we don't question his star power. Okay, but why do people question Fury's star power? I mean, he just put 60,000 butts in seats in cold weather in December in London. I mean, don't you kind of have to be a star to do that? I'm just asking. Why can't people? Okay, we already went over that. In recent past, I've noticed a lot of people on the YTBC saying that Usyk smokes Fury. Lately, they don't talk that so confident. You know, Jeff, I mean, you've been on fire tonight, Jeff. You've been on absolute fire. The fact of the matter is this. I remember people I respect too, like channels I watch like almost daily saying, oh, Usyk's afraid of Dillian. I'm sorry. Fury's afraid of Dillian. He's afraid. He'll never fight Dillian, right? He'll give up the title rather than fight Dillian. Then he fights Dillian. Then he agrees to fight Dillian. Then the narrative was, well, you know, they won't sell tickets. Then they sold tickets. Then it's, oh, well, they'll sell tickets, but they won't sell pay-per-view. It goes on, it goes on, it goes on, and it goes on. I don't know anybody else who's like star power, quote unquote, is this scrutinized. It's ridiculous. A guy sells 95,000 tickets at Wembley, and people are questioning like whether he's a legit star. After obviously questioning whether he has the stones to fight Dillian White. What? The guy came off a fat camp and fought Wilder, and people are questioning whether he's afraid to fight a guy that was knocked out by AJ and brutally knocked out by a 40-plus-year-old Alexander Povetkin. But Fury's afraid to fight him. Okay, and then like I said, first he's afraid to fight Fury, then, oh, well, he's going to fight him, but I don't know if the fight's really going to take place. And, well, yeah, it's happening at Wembley, but it's not going to sell out Wembley. Then they add more seating to Wembley, and then, wow, it's not going to do well on pay-per-view. It just goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. So, yeah, Jeff, I mean, that's pretty much the situation. AJ wins the ticket-selling contest. Fury wins the fight. Maybe, but does AJ even win the ticket-selling contest at this point? Do we know for a fact that AJ would have put 60,000 people in seats in December in cold weather in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Do we know that? I don't know that. I don't know that. I mean, I know that, they can get some dictators over in Saudi Arabia to throw, nine-figure site fees around. We know that. Chicano, agreed. Everyone gets on Chocolatito not looking the same early. Well, Estrada looked better in the second fight, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a valid point. I mean, he did. I think so. I think that's valid, bro. Nice pick, by the way. I like the artwork there. Evening, Tony. I appreciate you joining Maestro, aka The Knowledge, aka King Smoke, aka The Final Boss. By the way, Tony P gave me all of those nicknames, so big up to Tony P. Thank you, Tony P. If any of the three fights was going to go to Estrada, this is the one. I saw it a draw, but Chocolatito took too long to get going. Plus, Estrada won the 12th in my card. I actually think that Estrada did pretty well on that last round for sure. I think so. Anyways, what I want to see, here's the thing. Am I wrong to say, and this is a legit question for the chat, am I wrong to say that when they keep talking about more Chocolatito Estrada fights, that it kind of seems like a swerve of Kazuto Ioka? How many more fights do we need to see between these two guys? When is Kazuto Ioka going to get his shot? At this point, I'd rather see Kazuto Ioka against Estrada or Bam Rodriguez against Chocolatito. I've enjoyed Estrada Chocolatito 1. I enjoyed, actually back then it was Chocolatito Estrada 1. Chocolatito Estrada 1. I enjoyed Chocolatito Estrada 2, and I enjoyed Estrada Chocolatito 3. But have we not seen enough? Are there not other fights out there for these guys? And now they have Nonito Donaire, who's literally the exact same age as me, but unlike me, is talking about fighting at 115 pounds. I mean, he was just brutally stopped by the monster not that long ago. Why is that a more compelling fight than Kazuto Ioka? Why is that a more compelling fight than Bam Rodriguez? Why is that a more compelling fight than even Fernando Martinez? Why is that a more compelling fight? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, Nonito's old. And that's not a knock on Nonito because I'm old. I'm the same age as Nonito. But unlike Nonito, I mean, I stopped boxing, 17 years ago. 17 years ago. Right around the time I went into grad school. So I mean, I just don't get that. I just don't get it. And you know, I didn't look, Tony's in here saying I'm capping. If Tony, you know, if you're up and you want to say something, you got the invite, man. Say no more. Say no more. You got the link right there, Big Tony, if you want to join in. I know it's late over there in the UK, and I'm going to be wrapping up soon. But if anybody wants to come in and rap, you guys are good to click that link. So where was I again? Oh, yeah. First of all, let's just do this. Let's smash the like. I never do that enough. I never remind people to hit the like button. Please hit that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you hit the subscribe button, make sure you also ding the notification bell. Okay? Because I probably am the only guy that's a New York City Department of Education public school teacher, PE teacher, USA certified boxing coach, and I got my YouTube. So let's get it. All right, let's get it. And let's keep going here. So yeah, hit the like. All right, hit the like. Ken Griffin says, big up Maestro for your dismantling of Spencer Fearon. That was my pleasure. No doubt about it. That was my pleasure. And I will return to Monday Night Smoke at a point in the future. Thanks. I got in on the Lensa app craze that's going on. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to have to look into it. I think this is a response, Omar Rodriguez, to me questioning why they're pushing this rematch. Not rematch. What am I talking about, rematch? They're pushing a fourth fight between Chocolatito and one guy Estrada when you got Kazuto Ioka out there. And I saw another comment that where was it? Franco is fighting Ioka. Franco's going to get beat by Ioka. Okay, Franco's getting beat by Ioka, and I want to see Ioka get his shot. I want to see Ioka get his shot. Now, I'm going to bring in a guy out of England, okay, who, like me, holds QTS. For those of you who don't know, that's qualified teacher status in England and Wales. All right, he's a fellow teach like me. He's a former amateur boxer like me. And he happens to also be one of the best doing it when it comes to the breakdowns. All right? Just don't ask him to break down anything involving Teofimo Lopez or Gervonta Tank Davis. I'm talking about the one, the only. I'm talking about Mr. Tony P. Tony P's in the building. Give it up for Tony P. Here we go. Hey, what's good? All right, there we go. You know, something's going on over here with my system, Tony. Just give me 1 second. All right. Because I need to adjust something so that I can make sure that we've got some good sound going on between us, because I got
testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
And because of that setup, I actually have to make a couple adjustments because I wasn't actually planning on anybody coming in. Tony, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Tony, explain whatever argument it is that you have about anything you want. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to quickly reset this, but the floor is yours, bro. You're logged in, you're good to go. Okay. Get cooking, I'll be right back.
All right, no worries. So I really needed the chat to be able to respond to some of the things that Maestro is saying. But I'm really just here to defend the honor of AJ. People, you know, my guy is having a go saying that AJ, you know, is he really this big stadium seller? Is he a ticket anymore? You know, I find that rather uneducated to say that AJ is no longer a ticket seller in the world of boxing right now. because literally he's lost 2 fights, which have been financed by high-paying individuals from the Saudi Arabia group. So because he's got financed by the richest people on the planet who want to pay the highest price possible to see him.
Yeah. Gangsters.
All of a sudden, his ticket value goes down? Really?
I mean, Tony, I wasn't saying his. Can you hear me now? You can hear me, right?
Loud and clear, brother. Loud and clear.
And by the way, I respect. Tony called me up a couple weeks ago. He said, "You know, Maestro, I got to start calling you the knowledge." So, I got to big up Tony for that because it's a heartwarming thing for a fellow teacher to give me that moniker. So I thank you for that, Big Tony. I appreciate that. The new knowledge. Anyway, so I'm gonna live up to my anointed name. Okay, the knowledge. I'm gonna break it down for you like this. The problem. I'm not saying that AJ is not a star. He obviously is a star. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's
make that clear as day.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go through the learning objectives one by one. Okay, so that everybody can understand. Learning objective number 1. I want all of the audience to understand that AJ is a bona fide star in the sport of boxing. That's clear. All right.
Okay.
But the second part of it for me is that Tyson Fury is also a bona fide star in the sport of boxing.
That I cannot deny, my friend.
There you go. So we're on the same page, and I want all of the listeners to understand this. Now, the third thing, and I think this is where there's a little bit of a disagreement, is that people scrutinize everything that has to do with Tyson Fury outside of the ring because there's not much really to scrutinize in terms of what he's doing inside of the ring unless you're talking about his level of opposition. But he's a master boxer. People say, well, he's not going to fight White. Wasn't true. Oh, well, they're not going to sell tickets at Wembley. Wasn't true. Oh, well, this isn't going to fit. Now they're shifting into it's not going to sell on pay-per-view. No, the question I have is why do all of the people, and people on the channel, people that make videos, people, they question all of the business stuff around Fury, MTK, the Kinahan connection, right? That's another one. But they don't question what's going on with these Saudi fights. I don't know how many people were in the arena. I don't know whether that turned a profit or not. I don't care.
Okay.
But they scrutinize it. But they don't.
Let us scrutinize it.
They scrutinize it for Fury, but they don't want to scrutinize it for AJ. So Kinahan
is there to scrutinize?
Kinahan is a gangster. Kinahan is a gangster, right? He's a gangster. Supposedly, he's a gangster, right?
Right.
But the Saudis are gangsters? They're not gangsters?
Oh, come on.
They're big gangsters.
Come on.
You come on.
Oh, come
on.
You really want to give credence to an argument that the Saudi royal family and the surrounding people in the Saudi multi-billionaire status can be compared with Daniel Killer.
No, I'm saying they can't. They're saying they can't be compared. They're talking about some shootings and some boxing gyms in Spain. Meanwhile, these people are slaughtering hundreds of thousands in Yemen. You make that make sense for me. You make that make sense for me. You can't. You can't do it.
They're two different things, my friend.
So on the one hand,
my brother, no. You don't get away that easily. Because what you're doing now is you're using a rhetoric for your own personal gain, which has got no validation whatsoever. You're trying to compare a political agenda of a country with individuals who have made millions, with individuals who have made billions
because they're bigger
in that said same country.
Yeah, they're bigger gangsters.
In the same way, you wouldn't scrutinize Al Heyman, Bob Arum, Don King in your country, which has done far worse than Yemen, than Saudi Arabia globally.
Yeah, they sent the weapons over. Yeah. But here's the thing. I'm not the one coming with the argument about, oh, he's a gangster, he's this.
Okay, so let's get this right. Is any Saudi prince, king, queen, emperor, individual person in Saudi currently banned from entering the United States airspace?
You want to know? You don't make me don't make me use those three numbers that happened in 2001 because they did that.
Who?
They did that.
Who?
I'm not gonna say the three numbers because I don't want this video to get buried.
My brother, seriously.
I'm gonna put the numbers. I'm gonna put the numbers right on the screen right now. I got 4 plus 5.
I know the numbers, bro.
And then I got a 1 and a 1. And let me tell you something.
Okay.
That wasn't done by Afghanistan, and that wasn't done by Iraq. That was done by Saudi Arabia. So get it right.
My brother,
you want to talk? Hold up.
You want to go with that conspiracy theory? I commend you.
That's not a conspiracy theory.
Once again, I want to ask the same question.
I'm gonna mute you right now if you don't stop interrupting me. I'm gonna mute you because I'm talking right now.
Same question again.
I'm talking right now. I'm talking.
I asked you a question. You diverted the question with no answer.
No.
Name me
I'm gonna answer the question. I'm gonna answer the question. I'm gonna have to mute you because you're not letting me answer the question. Now I'm gonna unmute you because I know you're gonna behave. All right. You want to talk about airspace? Go check out Michael Moore's movie, Fahrenheit. I'm not gonna say the words. I'm not gonna say the names. Fahrenheit. You guys could do the math. Okay. And the fact is, they were the only people allowed to use airspace. Not even active U.S. military could fly after that happened. Only they could. Bush allowed them to leave the country. So look, here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal. They all gangsters. Every last one of them. But here's the thing. I'm not the one bringing up MTK with Tyson Fury.
I didn't.
I'm just saying the people.
I didn't.
I know you're not. I'm just saying.
So you did.
Hold on.
You did.
Whoa. Wait a second.
Hang on. Ain't nobody else on this call but me and you.
Okay.
I didn't bring it up.
Okay.
You must have done it.
I know what. I'll make my point clear. Let me make my point clear. I want to make my point clear. You're a teacher. You should understand this. So my point is that people want to criticize Fury because of the Kinahan connection. That's a fact. Video after video after video criticizes the man for this, but nobody questions the Saudi connection. The same people don't question it.
Okay.
See, I want
ask you a question.
This is my issue. That's my issue.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you ever tell me if any individual from the Undefeated podcast that would include Travis, KG, myself, Baze the Kid, October Red, have ever mentioned MTK Global, Daniel Kinahan, and Tyson Fury in the same sentence?
When did this become about my undefeated brothers? I didn't say.
Okay, because I want to know where you're getting this rhetoric from.
I didn't say. Look, man.
I would also challenge you.
Look.
I listen to a lot of other UK commentators.
What we're gonna do? Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, because all of the people that watch my channel know this.
Mm-hmm.
They know the channels. Okay, I'll send you the videos that go at length about Fury with MTK over and over again.
By whom? Are they UK journalists?
I don't know why.
I know what happens in America.
Why does it matter?
You have a lot of bait clickers over there. You got a lot of people who jump all over any little bit of a story. Yeah, any little piece of a story and turn it into a mountain.
Right.
But when I go to the sources of my feed, You know, I listen to yourself. I listen to KO Kenny. I listen to your round table. I listen to the Undefeated Pod. I listen
I'm not on the round table anymore, but yes.
Okay, but that's one of the forums that I used to listen to.
Yeah.
Okay. The point is, I choose where I get my information from.
Right.
Now, there are people who I choose not to listen to because, quite frankly, and I'm not going to say their names, they're clickbaiters.
Right.
They want to come up with a story out of nothing because it's gonna create a buzz of excitement around their followers.
Okay. Well, you know, look, one of the channels is a channel that I actually like the person who run it. So I'm not trying to throw him under the bus publicly. But I mean, just go to YouTube and type in Fury MTK, and you're gonna see Sky Sport Boxing. All right, you're gonna see Sporting Icons. Okay, you're gonna see channel after channel. All right, talking about Fury's ties to this alleged crime syndicate.
When was the last time one of those stories came out, Maestro? Please tell me.
What I'm trying to tell you, Tony, is that it's part of the anti-Fury narrative. Whether you want,
you're diverting from every single question I ask.
Jeff Lucietta knows it. Okay, people. Ken Griffin knows it. People in the chat know it, bro. They know it.
Bruv, you are diverted. Every time I ask a question, a relevant question.
What's the question? I'll answer the question.
Please do. When was the last time you heard a story online regarding a link up between Daniel Kinahan and Tyson Fury?
It's been a while, but those stories happen.
12 months? 18 months?
I'm probably like 7 months, 5 months. I mean, I'm looking on it right now. I literally just looked at MTK and Fury, and yeah, there's videos from 7 months ago and from 5 months ago and from a year ago that are on there talking about it. So,
right. So a year ago, it was a thing to talk about.
7 months ago too, yeah.
Okay, but it started about a year ago.
Okay,
it was a thing to talk about because I'm gonna educate you, my fellow teach. Yeah, what happens is it's a bit like right now the hot topic is Meghan Markle is being abused by the royal family.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what's going to happen is that story is now going to go for a 12-month period.
Right.
Everybody and his mum's aunt is going to come in and jump in on this story.
Yeah, because they're trying
and they're going to have some kind of link because they're going to turn around and say, oh, because my aunt's uncle's brother's cat's sister lives in the same road as you name it, somebody within the royal family. And so you're going to get this clickbait. Who only knows what really goes on behind closed doors in the palace? Harry and Meghan. And they've got their documentary out now, but everybody and his cat is going to have a view on it. So I turned on my TV this morning, and lo and behold, the docuseries came out today, and within 12 hours, YouTube is surrounded by people commentating on this story. This is what happened in the boxing community with Kinahan and Tyson Fury. Kinahan got banned from traveling to the United States, and all of a sudden, every link that Kinahan ever had, including people I know in the game, yeah, because look, just by happen to chance, I happen to be wearing the shamrock and boxing gloves. So guess what that means? Irish boxing. Who else is Irish boxing? MTK Global. The Kinahans. So now all of a sudden, people might be looking at me and thinking, oh, hang on a second, that Tony Cox, he, the pugilist boy, he got a link with the Kinahan. Maybe we should be blocking him from flying to the States. He might have a bit of knowledge that we don't want him to be revealing or whatever else it is. The problem is here, there was no validated story linking the two. Yes, there was a link because Kinahan brokered a deal with the Saudis to host a fight between AJ and Tyson Fury in 2020. Yeah?
I'm going to bring in Yunnan. You good with that? I'm going to bring him in. I understand your argument. Let's hear my man, you, man. Let's hear it, you, man. What's up?
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother. Just put your headphones so you can put in, because there's a lot of feedback on the line.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, when you come on, just start speaking again, and I'll put you back in.
So yeah, you know, look, I'm not gonna deny that there was a link. There was no link between Kinahan and Fury at some point in time. But that story's dead in the water, bro.
Yeah, listen, that might be dead in the water. You, man, just do me a favor and send us a comment when you're back and ready to go. So not a comment, or in the private chat. So I know you got your headphones on, because there's a lot of feedback there. Look, my issue is simple, okay? And I think if you're going to be objective about this, Tony, that you will understand and agree with the fact, because you already have, that video after video after video was made. And I'm looking it up. It's like the fight with Teddy Atlas, right? IFL, like all kind of videos, Talk Sport. I mean, so many videos where people were talking about Tyson Fury's. What was that? Is he back? Oh, I got muted him. He's still not ready. That we're linking Fury to this man. Okay, fine. He got links to the man. I get it. But they ain't nothing MTK or the Kinahan family's done that rivals Saudi Arabia. I'm just telling you that. Now, you can disagree with that if you want, but you know, to me, it's not even close. They're both families. Saudi Arabia is a country ruled by a family. It's family. They're not elected. They don't represent anybody.
But they're not a monolith either. You need to understand that. You need to make it clear. Saudi Arabia is not a monolith. It's not like one family that runs everything and nothing can go on without the say-so of that one family. There are several families. There are loads of people in Saudi Arabia who are billionaires.
Yeah, no, they're
finance fights.
I got it, Tony. The fact of the matter is this, okay? Like I said, he's afraid to fight people. He's afraid to fight AJ. He's afraid to fight Wilder. He's afraid to fight Dillian. He won't sell out Wembley. Oh, but he won't sell pay-per-views. Oh, but there were empty seats on Saturday night. How many times have you heard? Hopefully Yunnan is back. Still kind of choppy audio, Yunnan. I don't know what you hear that too, Tony. The choppy
definitely.
I need you to sort that out, because I can't. There's too much choppy audio. So I can't look. I don't know of any. I don't know the last time I've heard people. Oh, there were empty seats. There were empty seats. This is ridiculous.
Okay, let's as I said, let's stop the cap, yeah? At the end of the day, let's give credit where credit is due, yeah? Well done, Tyson Fury, for selling out Tottenham Hotspur 60,000 in the dead cold of winter in London that nobody actually thought he could possibly do with a bum. No, I can't say that because that's my guy. He's
a past his prime journeyman.
Past his prime journeyman in Derek Chisora.
Yeah.
So well done. And I'll be honest with you, I know a couple of people who went because they were like, oh yeah, this is my chance. I've never been able to see Tyson Fury. I've always wanted to see Tyson Fury. So they were like, yeah, I'm getting tickets. I'm like, you realize this is a nothing fight. This is going to be a one-sided procession. And they were like, yeah, but it's my chance to go and see Tyson Fury. And I never had a chance because I always sell out. And now I'm going to get a chance. Well, let's be honest here. Tyson Fury has been in 2 stadium fights. He sold them out. Well done to him. Prior to that first stadium fight, there's a lot of unanswered questions about how popular Tyson Fury really was.
You wanted me to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up right now. I mean, you were questioning, the box office, results of him versus Wilder. We've had that discussion. It didn't
sell out. It didn't sell out.
Okay. And did What are the numbers on Usyk and Joshua? What are the numbers on Ruiz and Joshua in Saudi?
I don't know. I don't.
know.
We don't have that intel.
Again, we don't know. So why do people bring it up for Fury? That's what I'm saying.
Because we have the intel.
No, if
we have the intel, we can make commentary. If we don't have the intel, we can't make commentary.
There's an anti-Fury. There's an anti-Fury bias. You don't want to admit it, but there is. There's an anti-Fury bias.
I'm going to admit it. But let's be honest, yeah? There's a reason why there's anti-Fury bias. The man's a raving lunatic when he opens his mouth. Oh, hang on a second. I'm going to fight AJ. Hang on. I'm going to fight AJ.
Was a raving lunatic when he opened his mouth. Mike Tyson wasn't talking about eating people's kids and doing all kind of stuff. Didn't Roberto Duran talk about effing the Sugar Ray Leonard's wife right in front of him?
Yeah, I get that.
Well, I know this is boxing, bro. What are we talking about?
Okay. So all that can be said. But the difference is Mike Tyson's selling out arenas. He's the highest grossing boxer of his time.
Only 5,000 at Wembley. More do you want?
Oh, as I said to you, Maestro, until the 2 stadium fights, his numbers are questionable.
Okay, right, but I'm gonna bring up your co-host. I'm gonna bring up your partner on the breakdown.
Go ahead.
Yes or no? Was Base the Kid pointing out that there was empty seats at Wembley? Yes or no?
I don't believe he did, but if you heard him say that, I'm not going to deny it.
On the round table when I was on there, he did it.
Okay, I didn't hear it, but if he did, so be it.
Yeah, so like this is what I'm saying. Like, what's this obsession over whether or not there was empty seats, or yes or no? Have you heard people saying that there were empty seats on Saturday night?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well,
it was clearly not.
I don't even live in the UK, and I've seen people saying that.
Okay,
saying it on Twitter, saying it on YouTube. So look, at the end of, this is all I'm saying. It's like just keep it consistent, AJ fans. Just keep it consistent.
Okay. So let's keep it consistent. Yeah. Let's turn the whole thing over.
Yeah.
Let's turn around and give credit to Tyson Fury. Yeah. Because I've come on here and I'm willing, and I've said it. Credit is due to Tyson Fury. 2 stadium fights sold out. Well done. We don't have the pay-per-view numbers. A lot of people are criticizing the fact that we don't have the pay-per-view numbers. I'm fine with saying he's a bona fide UK superstar. He's proved that he can sell out arenas, and he can probably do great numbers on pay-per-view as well. Yeah? But that doesn't mean I now have to start demeaning a guy like AJ. That's sacrilege. That's stupidity. 2 things can be the same at the same time. AJ is a great ticket seller. AJ is probably still the cash cow in the heavyweight division.
He's not the cash cow in the heavyweight division anymore.
Well, I've yet to see anyone do numbers like AJ.
We already saw it, 95,000 at Wembley. You just
I'm talking accumulated figures. He's done 2 stadiums. AJ's done that how many times?
Okay. So, I mean, he done 2 stadiums, but the box office of Wilder versus Fury was bigger than the box office for a lot of those stadium fights that AJ did because of the site fees in Vegas. So, I mean, the site fees in Vegas are way bigger than stadium fights in England. I mean, it is.
Okay, so who's made more money?
Well, this is the thing, because he's made more money recently because, again, the blood money from Saudi flows in abundance. But nobody asks if those fights are profitable.
Well, let's just put it this way.
He gets paid with Saudi sports washing money. That's a fact.
Okay, you can call it what you want to call it from the now to the
audio's crispy this time, you then, because I don't know what's going on. Here we go. That's much better. We got you in the building. Go for it, you man.
Yo, is it working?
It's perfect now, brother. Go for it.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so I'm gonna be brutally honest here, just straight up honest. So I'm a casual boxing fan, yeah, like purely casual. I feel like before AJ's win against Klitschko at Wembley, boxing was for the casuals. After AJ's win against Klitschko at Wembley, boxing moved on to the mainstream. So it's not like we hate Fury for what he's accomplished in boxing. It's just that AJ did something magical, and then we move on. Like from there, boxing changed. So it feels like AJ now is at a point where any criticism towards AJ, for me, I can't criticize AJ for anything. He's sort of like beyond reproach, because of what he's done, like moving boxing into the mainstream. So it's not like we don't question like pay-per-view numbers, blah blah blah. It's the reason why people don't look at it is simply because of that win against Klitschko at Wembley was something so magical, and it moved boxing onto a new stratosphere. I feel like if there was no AJ and it was just Fury, boxing would be, boxers making a certain amount of millions. Like none of this would be happening. All this Saudi Arabia, moving on to Saudi Arabia, I think the history of boxing would have been different, completely different. So I don't know if it's rightly or wrongly that AJ is beyond reproach, but for a lot of UK casual fans, if like AJ is beyond reproach, it's hard to criticize him for anything.
Just because these UK casual fans forget that there was a really bad man by the name of Lennox Lewis. I don't know how they forgot about this guy. All of a sudden, he made British heavyweight boxing, right? AJ, like Tyson Fury didn't go out to Dusseldorf and whoop Klitschko's ass. Like that never happened. Like Lennox Lewis wasn't knocking out people left, right, and center, flying the Union Jack in and out of the ring. So, I mean, look, to me, the hype train started even before the fight with Klitschko when it comes to AJ. It started when he won London 2012 Olympics. To me, that's when it really started, But even before that, I mean, there was Ricky Haddon, there was Amir Khan, there was Prince Nazim Hamed, there were bona fide stars in UK boxing. This narrative that like none of that existed until AJ came on the scene, I just don't get it.
No, it's true, but I'll use like a soccer comparison. So there's a player, I think Tony will remember, the original Ronaldo. He played for Brazil.
Come on. Everybody knows who Ronaldo is, bro. Come on now.
But for a lot of people, in my opinion, he's the greatest player to ever lived. But to be honest, these young guys, these Ronaldos, these Messis, they've taken football to a different stratosphere. It's like nobody even remembers that. It's not like we don't remember historical figures. It's not like we're forgetting them. It's just that this is a new stratosphere now that we're at. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, can I make a comment on that, Maestro?
Go for it, bro.
So what you man is saying is actually something that I recognize every day in my school, and I'm sure you probably recognize this the same. Yeah, I talk to my kids who are between the age of 14 and 16. And they talk to me about all these new age rappers and these new UK drill rappers. And they talk to me and I always have a conversation, and there's like, who's this guy, Lil Nas X? Well, this Lil Nas X is a BITCH, yeah? Because he took a man's name, stuck it in the middle of a couple of other letters and tried to present himself as a bona fide rap star. Whereas the real man, the original Escobar, Queensbridge, yeah, your ends,
Nasir Jones
is the real deal. Yeah, Evander, the real deal. Holyfield in the rap game is Nasir Jones. Yeah, and when I speak to these kids, they're like, I don't know who he is. And the same applies in boxing. So some people don't really recognize some of the even 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago, they just don't recognize. which is why today we have our kids running around going, "Oh, did you watch the Deji fight? Did you watch KSI versus this guy, or did you see Jake Paul or Logan Paul?" Because those are their audience. Yeah. So we are the old school. You and I, Maestro, are of a similar age. Okay. We can go back in the annals of boxing history and talk about black and white footage, you know, Pernell Whitaker and Trevor Burbick. And
I mean, where did Oliver McCall fight Frank Bruno, bro?
Wembley.
So it's not like AJ invented this.
Hang on, but wait. Do today's kids know anything about who Frank Bruno is?
Where did Crawford fight George Groves?
Do today's boxing audience really know who Carl Froch is?
Okay, look, I get it. I get it.
Because what you're saying is they're big fights. I agree. They're big fights. But the boxing audience that was around then had one method to watch the fight. One. TV.
Yeah.
Yeah? You had one method. Yeah? Because remember, the age of social media, the age of streaming television, the age of the multiple belts, and the age of the multiple metaverse of TV companies with selling fights like Fight TV and Centanta and all these is new age, bro. So you're talking about, it might only have been 10 years ago, but the landscape was totally different. And what you man is explaining is that the landscape today was built on the back of guys like AJ, not Klitschko in Germany.
Joe, listen to this. Like, this is what I'm not willing to accept, right? First of all, they act like he's the first person to ever do Wembley Stadium. Again, there have been fights at Wembley going back to what, like 1920 something? Let's stop.
Absolutely.
Where did Henry Cooper fight Muhammad Ali? Okay, so
Arsenal Stadium. Arsenal.
I thought it was Wembley.
I think it was Arsenal.
I'm pretty sure it was Wembley, but we could go fact check that later.
Okay.
The fact is, you know, I am the knowledge at the end of the day. So so the fact is, he didn't invent this. Okay, there were fights taking place in recent memory, like Groves Frosh at Wembley. But even if you say that it was AJ, okay, whatever. Why did the AJ people then got to say, "Oh yeah, Fury did it and he did more," but look at all of those empty seats. So all I'm saying is, that's all I'm saying. There's an inconsistency, right? And then there's this picking apart of everything Fury does. You know, I had a discussion with someone that you know and I know, and he told me that his problem with AJ, with Fury, is that, well, you know, Fury gets away with things because he's you know, I'll just say it, he's a white guy and he gets away with things that according to this person, black people can't get away with. First of all, I don't know if that's true or not. This guy's also from England, by the way. But my whole thing is, Fury was not the poster child. He was not the golden boy. That guy was supposed to be David Price. But David Price, who had the royal treatment coming up, got his ass knocked out twice. All right, by Tiger Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay, Fury was doing the small hole shows. Fury was with Hennessy. Fury wasn't with the big time guys. Fury didn't come up easy. Fury came up hard. So I'm just not willing to buy into some of these like narratives, but it is what it is. Guys, I gotta go. All right. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Man, we gotta do this again because I love hearing from you too, brother.
Definitely.
But it's getting late. I gotta have dinner with my wife and get ready here for the rest of the evening and get prepared for a big day tomorrow, Friday. You know, last day of the teaching week, Tony. You know how that is.
Oh yeah, I know that.
But
when do you break up, by the way, sir?
Huh?
When do you break up?
For the holiday, we go until the 23rd Friday, bro. Can you believe that? Yeah, we work until the Friday the 23rd. Then Christmas Eve is, I believe, the 24th, and then Christmas Day is Sunday. Whenever Christmas falls on a weekend, bro, it's the worst because you only get 1 week off over here in New York. That's it.
Wow.
Whoa.
Harsh.
1 week off, and then we get, I think we only get the Monday off following New Year's Day, because New Year's Day fell on a holiday, on a Sunday, so they give us the Monday, but then we're back at it Tuesday, so it's like that much time.
So just I will also start back on the Tuesday, but we finish on the 16th.
There you go. But I think we get more summer holiday. That's why we get 2 months off in the summer.
True.
So we make up for it in other ways. But Tony, great discussion, brother.
Great to talk again. Been a while. We've got to do this more often.
You man, don't be a stranger, fam. I love you coming on, and it's great to hear your voice too, fam. And
bless, man. You need to stream more often, Maestro. You've been slacking lately.
You've
been slacking.
The problem is that I was explaining this at the beginning of the stream. I set up my own boxing club, and it's taken a lot of time and energy, getting the parental waivers, telling the parents about it, getting the equipment, getting the space, getting the permits, getting the school supporting it,
What age group are you teaching?
Right now, between the ages of 10 and like 13, 14. So for me, it's a good age. I got boys and girls too training with me. And
so this is really strange how you are now in your own gym, and I've been recruited into a gym which I'm pretty much running. And it's funny because I'm going to post a clip where I got AJ giving a shout out to the kids in my gym.
Oh, that's awesome. Send me that. Wow. Send me it on WhatsApp.
I will.
And you, Nan, add me on WhatsApp too. I'm gonna send you my number in a private chat. And
I change my number every 2 weeks, so
well, that's fine.
The original drug dealer.
I owe some people money, so I need to.
we're doing very
drop it anyway. I'll save it.
Okay, well, we're doing very similar things, Tony.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, we're doing very similar things. So that's good, man. But yeah, so that's what's been keeping me busy, guys.
And I got one more thing. One more slight at you.
Yeah, go for it.
How many fights has Tank Davis lost?
Oh my God, Tony.
0 fights.
Thank you. How many fights has Teofimo lost?
1 fight.
Thank you.
But he thinks he's undefeated. He's delusional.
All right. No. We don't need to go there.
Like you
we don't need to go there.
I'll get it into this. I already said I had to go. All right, this has been Punchlines. I want to thank everybody for joining. All right, make sure you check out the breakdown with Tony and with Base the Kid. Make sure you check out everything that the great defeaters like you men are doing. All right, over there on the Undefeated podcast.
Gorilla than the planet of the apes. I write a punchline and plant it on your face. Eat a punch that you ain't even got to taste. Here's a shot that you ain't even got to chase.
Thank you for having me on, guys. You guys take care.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care,
fellas.
fellas.
Take care, Tony.
Bye for now.